On a Zoom with me, also fresh off set from The Bold and the Beautiful, is the beautiful Heather Tom, who is Katie on The Bold and the Beautiful. Welcome to my Zoom.
Hi, how are you?
I am very, very excited to speak to you tonight. Today for you,
Yes,
tonight for me.
yes, exactly.
Okay, so The Bold and the Beautiful has come to Netflix South Africa, and this is a very big deal for us because we have been watching The Bold for it feels like forever, right? But we'd always have
Yes.
to wait for the episodes to happen. And so we're very behind here in South Africa. Now they're on Netflix and we can just binge watch them all weekend long. And this is something that we have just, oh my gosh, we're so grateful to Netflix. But what does this mean to you?
Oh, I think it's great. I'm so excited that we're on Netflix too. I think that sounds fantastic. I'm loving that they're um we have I've been to South Africa a couple of times and our fans there are just so amazing, and it was just an amazing experience to go this last time, because the first time I went I wasn't on Bold and the Beautiful, but this last time I was, and it was honestly truly one of the best experiences of my life. So I'm so thrilled that Netflix is keeping us on the air there and making it accessible. And yeah, now you guys don't have to wait to see what happens.
And that also just means that you guys carry on forever now, right?
Yeah, yes, forever and ever and ever.
I don't know who we have to email, but let's do that because you cannot abandon us now.
That sounds great. I say yes.
Okay, so you are a six-time Emmy award-winning actress. This is insane. Six Emmys. Where do you put them at that point?
They're in my living room on my piano.
Of course, they must be. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I'm here for it. Congratulations. What is it?
Thank you.
So, when you win the first one, obviously it's a big deal and you cry and you're like, oh my God, this is
Uh-huh.
amazing. By the sixth one, does it still mean the same thing?
Oh yeah, I mean, I feel like it does for sure. I mean, I don't think it ever. I don't think anyone would ever say that it would get old. Can't imagine. But because it's really, but it's a lovely pat on the back for from your community, and it's lovely to have an evening where we all get together and we celebrate daytime and celebrate the work that everybody does. And I do say, and I know this sounds very cliche and trite, but honestly, my greatest reward is going into work every day and being lucky enough to have a job for 33 years and counting.
Wow.
So I that's what I'm most grateful for. But it's always exciting and always a fun night.
Every time I speak to someone from the cast of The Bold and the Beautiful, you guys are always so nice about each other and so nice about the crew and the set and just the
It's all
working
live.
environment. I knew it. I knew it was.
Yeah, no, we're very lucky. I've been on a lot of sets, and it's amazing to me when people are unhappy when they have a job like this, because it's kind of the best job you could possibly have. And I think everybody that I work with on B&B, cast and crew, really understands that and is grateful to be there every day. And we like each other. We like to hang out with each other. We like to we call each other when we're not working. Like it's bizarre, but it's wonderful. It truly is a family. And we it's relationships that I've had for decades. I've known most of these people, some of them for longer than I've known my husband. So yeah.
So speaking of family, I just wanted to say I'm really, really sorry to see that you recently lost your mom.
Thank you. Thank you.
I
Yeah, she passed away, oh boy, about a week ago. And she was not well for a long time. And we she was in hospice care, which I don't know if you guys
Mhm.
have that in South Africa, but
Yeah.
it was wonderful, and I'm so grateful for it and for everybody that helped her. Because it was just, oh boy, here we go. It was lovely to be able to be there and really know that she was comfortable and not scared, and
Mhm.
it was great. It was the best possible way for it to happen, and she was ready, and she knew
Oh.
that we were there for her. So, oh, I wasn't expecting to do that.
No, that's
It's
okay.
funny because it's just such a weird it's a weird thing. I don't know if you've lost a parent or someone close to you, but it's like it's such a wave and it like hits you at the weirdest time. And you go like, oh, I've been preparing for this for years, really with my mom, because she's been ill for so long. But then it just like smacks you in the face.
Mm-hmm.
And I have this like it's also this very strange thing that I'm like on the edge of them that I'm experiencing it. And it's all this like new crazy emotion. And then because of what I do for a living with the acting and directing, I'm like also kind of observing. And so it's like this
Wow.
very schizophrenic thing that happens where I'm like, huh, that's interesting. Like maybe I'll use that. Like it's so weird. So, but yeah, but thank you for asking. I don't know if that, I'm sorry to like, go on and on, but yeah.
No, please, please. We must always, always speak about the people that we love that aren't with us anymore. But,
Yeah.
I wanted to, the reason that I asked you this is because I lost my husband in September last year.
Oh,
And
I'm
I've been,
sorry.
thank you, thank you. And I've been very open about it on social media and in the media here. And I think that you are so much further ahead on this journey because of how you're looking at it. I think I'm going to borrow that from you and start unpacking
Oh,
the feelings a little bit.
oh, thank you. I mean, as I said, I don't know what your situation was, but my mother was ill and um, she was ready. I knew she was ready. I mean, we discussed, we discussed things. And that's another thing, honestly, also, again, I don't know what you guys have over there, but we have things over here that, living wills and power of
Mm,
attorneys and things like that, that you should have these conversations with your loved ones
mm,
before something happens because they're not hard conversations, they're honest conversations, and they're so much easier to have when you aren't in the middle of it. And so we had talked about it like years and years ago. And so um when it did kind of come down the pike, then we were like, okay, we know what to expect and we know what she wants and we know, I mean, you never know what to expect, but you like, there's a script we can follow in a way. And so, and again, like the hospice was just, I'm so grateful for it because, they just really took all of the pressure off of us, as far as like me making sure that she's okay and even helping us like with arrangements and stuff like that. And so
mm.
I don't know. I think it's hard. It's so hard. And I'm very sorry about your husband.
Thank you.
But it's just such a weird thing, isn't it, sometimes?
No, it really is because, like you say, one minute you're fine and the next minute you're crying in your car to Ed Sheeran, and you're like, "Well,
Yeah.
I don't understand what's going on."
Yeah, I know. It's this strange thing, um but you can't fight it. There's no point in fighting it, even if you're on, even off the radio with somebody, you know? So, yeah. Well, and good for
Um,
you for being open about it because I think that, I think sometimes people get uncomfortable sharing stuff like that, but I'm sure there are a lot of people who listen to your experience and feel a connection to that and
mm.
it's helpful. So good for you for being open enough to share it.
And thank you for being open enough to share it with us. Like it's so fresh. It's a week in and you're already back on set. How are you doing this show must go on thing? Do you ever have moments on set where you're like breaking down?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean but it is I'm pretty good at compartmentalizing. And I do, my mother was so instrumental in my career that she would want the show to go on. Boy, wow, I'm really getting into it today. But yes, absolutely. I mean, and the the good thing is, I guess, if you want to look at it this way, is that I kind of cry for a living. So it's like like I've kind of cried every day for the last 30 years. So um it's uh it's not terribly unusual for me to be in tears on the set. So if you want to look at the glass half full part of it. But and the other thing, the wonderful thing is too also is that because I've been doing it so long with the same people, they knew my mother and
Mm.
they they loved her. So gosh, this is like a therapy session. You have to send me a bill.
I'm here for you. You sound like I sounded this morning on a WhatsApp. I sent a 9-minute voice note to my best friend, and I sounded exactly the same as you. We are all there is not a unique human experience on this planet, babe. I
Yeah,
promise you.
it is true. It's true.
For
So,
someone
yeah.
listening, I know a lot of my listeners are, I mean, obviously listen because of what I've just gone through, and now you as well. And I get the question a lot, but where do you draw your strength and how do you honor the person on the other side? Do you know those answers yet?
Well, I mean, my mother, she's so instrumental in where we are right now, just not just professionally, but just where we are as human beings. She packed us up and moved us to Los Angeles, just kind of on, not necessarily a hope and a prayer. We had worked a whole lot, but she was very, she just jumped in. She took risks and she said, "No, we're going to do this and we're going to just figure it out." And yeah, we don't have any money, but we're going to figure it out. And I think that like scrappiness and perseverance and just like, really learning how to put your head down and work and, and also just like moving through things, like if you get stuck in something, then you just got to put one foot in front of the other. And that is exactly how she lived her life. And it's exactly how she taught us to live. So I just have to, keep doing that every day. And honestly, that sounds a lot easier. It's a lot easier said than done a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times. But
Mm-hmm.
that's, if I keep repeating it, I think sometimes it'll sink in.
Yeah, I'm hope so. I'm hopeful too. Thank you. One foot in front of the other, one day at a time, one breath
Yep.
at a time.
Yep. Yes. Yes.
So,
Indeed.
multiple award-winning actress who's been on one of the longest running shows that's now on Netflix. I mean, you've made it, right? Or when is that bar? When do you know that you have made it, Heather Tom?
Oh boy. I hope I never make it. I hope I do this until I fall down. I think that, when you're doing something creative, and then you should always be learning, and you should always be growing, and you should always be challenging yourself. And I think that, it's wonderful that I was like, I mean, having a job, such a steady gig for so long is so unusual, and so I'm so grateful for it. But I write, I direct, I I want to do as much as I can, while the sun shines. So I don't know that I'd ever feel like, okay, I'm good, I'm done.
Thank you for sharing your heart and soul with us. I really do
Sure, of
appreciate it.
course.
It's very unusual to find someone so forthcoming and so authentic.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, for my mother's 60th birthday, we went on safari to Kruger, and we stayed in Cape Town, and so that was her 60th birthday present. We went to South Africa, so South Africa has definitely a big part of my heart and certainly a part of hers.
I think you've got to come back when you're ready and redo those steps.
Oh yeah. And please, as soon as I can.
Yeah, let us know. We're here for you. We'll cry together, we'll have wine together, and we'll do all the things.
Thank you so much.
Heather, one last thing before you leave us.
Mhm.
A message for your South African fans who love you.
Oh, I thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for loving our characters or hating them, whichever you prefer. And I am so grateful that we're going to be on the air there, and that we can continue to tell our stories. So keep watching. There's a lot of really, really, really good stuff coming up.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Have a good one.